Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the Monday NBA slate. We have 2 games today. Also have a Prize Picks video out after this, but let's go ahead and get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out all the socials down below in the description. And let's get started. The first game of the second round series between these 4 teams, and we have a couple of shorthanded teams, especially the Sixers missing their best player. Embiid is out for at least a couple of games, hoping to return for the first game at home in Philly. And there's no Kyle Lowry. They have some other guys questionable from the Miami side, but besides Lowry, I think they're all going to suit up. And don't have really any news on the Phoenix side. See that Devin Booker's line isn't out for sportsbooks yet, but I haven't heard anything that he won't play. So going back over to the point guard position, we have Luca Dante as our most expensive guy. He's $11,200. His team handled Utah pretty easily, even without him in the first couple of games since he returned. They kind of took over in that last game and in the second half. And Luka putting up good numbers. Hasn't hit 60 fantasy points yet in his 3 games so far in the playoffs, but playing solid minutes, taking a lot of shots. He's taken 20-plus shots in all 3 of his games, getting a lot of rebounds, still assisting at a decent clip, and taking 10-plus threes, and took 10 threes in each of the 3 games. Going up against Phoenix, who were able to handle the Pelicans after not having Booker for the first few games. And after the first game, and it kind of got a bit close there, but this one should be one where I think Dallas will make it a game, and it won't be. It will be a pretty long series for this one. I'm expecting at least 6 games, maybe 7. We have James Harden. He's going to have to step up. He's going to have to turn back the clock and turn into the Houston James Harden for the Sixers to have any shot in this first couple of games without Embiid. Harden is going to be looking to score the ball a little bit more. He's definitely going to have to be more aggressive without Embiid there. Going to have to get more rebounds. Assists might go down for him, not getting Embiid those easy lobs or easy buckets. I'm going to have to rely on Paul Reed to make shots instead of Embiid. So maybe the assists come down, but he's going to have to step up in other areas. But the first guy I'm going to put in here is going to be Maxey at 74. We have Chris Paul, 91, had a perfect game last time out, 14 of 14. He was aggressive with his shot. Just had 8 assists, which is his lowest mark he's had so far in the postseason. But I definitely think I will go right back up to 10-plus today when he's not going to score 33 points every night. He's only averaging 15 on the season. And as Booker gets back more and more healthy, those assists will go to Booker a little bit. So I don't mind getting to Chris Paul today. Booker at 85. I think he's a little bit interesting for tournaments because people don't really know if he's 100% yet. He didn't really look great in his most recent game. The good news was that he did play 32 minutes, but just made 1 3 and 6 attempts. Wasn't really aggressive in getting to the free throw line and didn't really contribute with many peripherals either. Other options in the 5K range, you have Dinwiddie, Bullock, and Oladipo. None of those guys are too interesting for me. Dinwiddie coming off the bench, playing some minutes at the end, high 20s, maybe low 30s. But Brunson is the main guy that's kind of stepped up and taken over in that second role besides Luka. Oladipo, 51, is going to be a play if Strus is out or somebody else is out. He started in the game that Butler and Lowry missed, and he played really well. And then at the bottom, maybe Milton gets some extra minutes, or maybe Korkmaz, but don't have much interest there. You have Tyler Hero, 64. He looks fine, but I'd probably just get up to Brunson for 800 more, a guy that's going to play heavy minutes for the team. But at the position I'm going with another Sixer, and that's going to be James Harden, $9,800. Over at small forward, your pay up is Jimmy Butler at 92. I think it's going to be interesting to see if people pay up for Butler today or pay up for Harden. I am paying up for James Harden just because I like some other plays from the Miami side that are a little bit cheaper. Bridges, 61. His production is going to come down a little bit. Same with the other guys. He's still playing heavy minutes just for his defensive purposes. Had a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year this season. We have Finney Smith, 58. He had a great game last time out. Had 10 rebounds, double-double, hit 4 threes. Normally he's going to be in high 20s, and fantasy points be high 20s, low 30s. That 41 is an outlier, but the minutes on that he's been playing have been a lot higher than during the regular season. So I like him more than Bullock at 54. I feel like Finney Smith gets you more peripherals and can get you more defensive stats as well. 4K range, you have a couple of guys that look interesting. You have Cam Johnson, $4,900. We have Danny Green, $4,800. He's going to have to step up and play play better and take more shots and hopefully get more rebounds, stuff like that. He was fine. The price tag has come up a little bit on him, so he's not as much of a must play. But I still think that Danny Green, 48, sub 5K, is probably going to be looking at heavy minutes today. From the Sixers side, we have Max Strus, 47. He's been starting for the team, playing 30-plus minutes the last couple of games. And without Lowry, you should expect those minutes to be there once again today, so no problem putting in Max Strus. And that's going to be the first Miami Heat player that I plug in here at small forward. I like him more than Cam Johnson coming off the bench, or more than like Jay Crowder now that Booker is back. And can't really trust Duncan Robinson at this point at 34, unless you're playing like a lot of tournament teams. Over at power forward, pay up is Butler. Tobias' price has jacked up to 8K. He's going to get a lot more rebounding opportunities. He was already getting 10-plus rebounds in most of the games in Toronto, just except for one. But without Embiid, he's really going to have to crash the glass. But I don't know if I want to pay 8K for him. I like getting up to Maxey and Harden a little bit more. Other options would definitely be Finney Smith at 58. And then the first value piece that we have here is Paul Reed going to be starting most likely in place of Embiid. We also have maybe PJ Tucker if you want to play him. And definitely you can look to Maxi Kleber at 38 as a guy that comes off the bench, but he's playing 20-25 minutes or so, and pretty good price tag compared to some of the other options that we have. But I'll put in Paul Reed here, 42. I like targeting this first game a little bit just because we have some shorthandedness on both sides. No Lowry and no Embiid opens up a lot of value with the other teams in the later game being pretty much fully healthy. We'll see if Booker's not on any limit or anything like that. I don't expect. Over at center, you have 8 and 77. I like Bam at 73. He's going up against Paul Reed now instead of going up against Joel Embiid. Much easier matchup for Bam. Should be able to crash the glass, get a lot of rebounds. Going to be looking to be more aggressive back to the basket, get some putbacks as well. The price tag is pretty reasonable. And he wasn't great, but not having Lowry is going to help. And the matchup is just a lot better for him, having less size there with Paul Reed and just a lot less of a defensive presence there. So that's another Miami Heat player that I like. And then other options at center would be like Kleber, 38, definitely not playing, 52, DeAndre Jordan. And maybe you can take a shot on Powell, but probably like Kleber a little bit more. And then over at the guard position, I'm putting in Jalen Brunson. First Dallas piece that I have in here. He's had a good price tag. He looked great in that series against Utah, and Utah's not an easy matchup. Really stepped up in the first couple of games that Luca wasn't able to play, and then he kind of just rode that confidence in the next 3 games, and he still put up an average 24 points per game in those games, got you some peripherals, and playing 35 to 38 minutes a night is pretty solid for Jalen Brunson. So that leaves you with about 47 left. We got some guys in the 4K range that I mentioned. So that's about it for the DraftKings side. Sticking with the first game, at least you're going to be looking to get it to at least like 3, probably Sixers, a couple of Miami pieces, maybe a little bit more. But that is about it for the DraftKings side. Let's go ahead and touch on FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel Poincare picks, we have Luca at 11K. He's only 900 more than Chris Paul, so although Paul was great last game, I still would side with Luca here. And then we have Maxey 75, kind of a big drop-off between Chris Paul and then the next guy. But I like Maxey more than Brunson, but I like both options today. And then the value range, I think you can definitely go to Gabe Vincent at 48, starting in place of Lowry, playing like 30 minutes or so, if not a little bit more than that, depending on how many minutes you want to give Hero. And like Oladipo if he gets in the mix today. The first guy I'll put in is going to be Maxey on both sides. Just good price tag for him. We know he's had some big games this year, and without Embiid, if they have Jimmy Butler on James Harden, I think Maxey's going to get the looks, and he's going to have to produce for the Sixers to have any shot. Over at shooting guard, I still like James Harden at 98. Definitely would like to pay up for Luca, though, at 11K. FanDuel's a little bit easier with the extra salary that you have and some of the better value that we have at these different positions. So easier to pay up for like Luca and pay up for Harden and pay up for 2 superstars. Other options for me would be Brunson at 73. I like Tyler Hero's price at 56. And then value, it's going to be Danny Green for sure at 43. Looks like a good one. Same thing can be said for Max Strus at 49, but I probably like Gabe Vincent a little bit more for 100 less. Over at small forward, Butler's up to 10-7. I like getting to James Harden in this sense at 98. I like Harden more than Tobias. And then value, it's going to be Tyler Hero, 56. Potentially looking at Danny Green, maybe PJ Tucker. but that's kind of it. And then you have Niang at the bottom, who's going to get some decent run and maybe get some center minutes for them at 36 if they decide to go small. Over at power forward, we have a good price tag on Bam at only 74. I think it's tough for me to pass on that. He's cheaper than Tobias, which I'd probably go Bam over Tobias if they were at the same price tag. Other options would be Paul Reed, which I'll put in at center. You have Tucker here at 45. Then you have maybe Cam Johnson. But I probably like getting down to like Kleber a little bit more at 4K. And you have Niang there as well. And then at center, only have Ayton as your pay up if you're putting in Bam at power forward. But going to be looking at Paul Reed if he's starting. Going to be looking at least 20 minutes, maybe more than that. Probably could get up to like 28, closer to 30. Depending on how many minutes they want to give DeAndre Jordan, how many minutes they decide if they want to go small. Put in maybe Niang at center. But that's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It'll be interesting to see how these teams decide to play it, especially the Sixers. We're missing Embiid and see if they're able to stay in the game. Hopefully they do, because I got at least 3 Sixers in both teams. So got to keep the game close and not hope for a blowout. But best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.